I call Catherine Delahunty.
Thank you, Mr Chair. He mihi nui ki Tainui, Waikato, tēnā koutou. I wasn't going to take a call, but sometimes the rhetoric around you overwhelms you. I'm very excited that we are moving into a more sophisticated era under Te Tiriti o Waitangi, moving beyond the limited concept of conservative Pākehā, one man, one vote, as the only manifestation of democracy that is possible in Aotearoa. I stand as a Pākehā proud to live with Te Tiriti o Waitangi as our finding document, and absolutely committed to finding new ways to find a way through the colonisation effects of the past. And only people who don't understand what colonisation means can say that this is not a step forward, that the co-management that's being proposed is not an incredibly positive model for Pākehā, for tangata tiriti, for tauiwi katoa, as well as for Māori. They say he piko he taniwha, and the terrible, terrible thing is, through the governance of the Crown and Environment Waikato, it has become he peko nā paru. And Waikato-Tainui have every reason to seek redress and have found with the Crown a positive way forward in the situation, because this river, like so many awa across the motu, has been deeply abused. And for me as a Pākehā, I mean, maybe the ACT Party don't get it, but for me, rivers are the veins of the land, they are the sources of life, and they are part of my spiritual identity, not necessarily through whakapapa, not at all through whakapapa. My whakapapa goes back to Ireland, but through experience of living within this country. And it is so important that we start growing up and stop relying on the failed policies of regional authorities to address the issues of tangata whenua, and the constant tokenism, the constant setting up of liaison people or advisory group, when what we need is co-governance, what we need is te treaty-based respect and rangatiratanga to be upheld. So if you think about Waikato, I stood with Pakiana Hawke from Ngāti Whātua Kia Rakai when they were talking about building up that pipeline from Waikato into Tamaki Makaurau, and Waikato's river is so dirty, but people were happy. The Franklin County Councils were happy to licence it to be pumped with all that pollution into Tamaki for the people to drink. And that's what's been going on. And that's not the fault of the tangata whenua, that's the fault of the people who are on those committees, those wonderful democratic bodies that have allowed us to pump polluted water into Auckland to drink, let alone the abuse of tangata whenua. I also think about what's really going on, what the big challenge is for co-management and for clean-up of Waikato. Because Waikato is like another awa, the awa taruera. Both of them have pulp mills who have used and abused them. And Waikato has been abused by the Kinleaf pulp mill for very many years, whereby the effluent from that pulp mill goes to Lake Maraitaha through a tributary and into Waikato, and that effluent is full of organochlorine chemicals. So that's just one major abuse that has been vested upon the people who might like to have exercised their customary rights over the Waikato River. So co-management and a facing up to the vision that this bill is helping to facilitate cannot come too soon for the Green Party in terms of the life force of that river. I think it's very important for us to acknowledge that the regional councils around this country, and particularly with reference to Waikato and places like Taruera, have continued to licence and issue resource consents that have destroyed the mauri and the mana of the rivers. And I remember when we were fighting the issue about the water going into Tamaki Makaurau, there were more than 40 resource consents of tanneries, dairy effluents, and the pulp mill, and also the dumps, you know, the toxic dumps that actually are on the banks of the Waikato. All of that was being licensed. It wasn't some kind of accident. It was something facilitated by district councils and by regional councils of elected members who said they were Democrats but were actually abusers. And I can't wait for the day that we have a proper dialogue at a regional level where tangata whenua can educate people who don't have a concept of what customary knowledge is and what the life force of a river is all about, and about how we maintain and sustain that for the well-being of everyone in the community. So I welcome this fund that's going to allow us to contest the best ways to clean up rivers, because we are tired of having to listen in court hearings to tangata whenua asking for their rights that should be granted. Kia ora.
I call Honi Hauera.